And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit like, oh, Atmos, not a big deal. Oh, I'm all right with my 5 bed layer
Yeah.
speakers or my 7. I don't need Atmos. That's not true. I'm here to say that Atmos is not a gimmick.
Mhm.
It is, when done properly, it's night and day. It's awesome. This was amazing. This was a treat. I'm telling you. This man goes around the world to demo these systems, but he has a monster
Mhm.
system here. I thought I had experienced all I could experience in the
Mhm.
low end effect, but I felt some things that I have not felt during that scene in this room.
Interesting.
Yes.
Hey, what is going on, guys? We are in my dedicated theater room with my man, Tim. Tim, you and I have been friends online for a while, but this is the first time we've had a chance to meet. You and your family are on vacation. Your wife had some work to do with her job, and you came over for a couple hours. We've been doing some demos probably for the past 30 minutes, and you shared some things during that demo that I would just love to kind of pick your brain on. Several things that you said, but before we start off, just tell us a little bit about you and maybe your home theater setup.
Hey, my name is Tim. I'm from Tennessee. I have a full JTR 5.2 system, really 5.1, depending, 2 subs. I have the JTR Noesis 210 RTs, 210 RM center,
Mhm.
and the HT surrounds, 110 surround center,
Uh-huh.
and the Captivator 2400 subs. And I thought I had an amazing system, but this is,
But here's the thing, you do have an amazing
yeah, I
system.
do.
We just have different systems.
Exactly.
But I'd love to
Yes.
pick your brain. You mentioned some things. We went through a bunch of different demos. What were some of them that you kind of stood out to you?
Well, Midway, because I was very familiar with Midway and Ready Player One.
Mm-hmm.
And I had him stop it during Midway on this particular scene because I was feeling stuff I hadn't felt. And mind you, I have Crosons at home and I use BEQ.
Okay.
Okay, so I thought I had experienced all I could experience in the low end effect, but I felt some things that I have not felt during that scene in this room.
Interesting.
Yes. Amazing.
Now, in my room, just to kind of paint the picture, I have concrete floors. I don't have hardwood floors. It's not a suspended floor. So you end up losing a lot that way. If you had hardwood floors, you'd get a lot more tactile from it. But I hear time and time again when people like yourself come over and they demo it for the first time, they always ask me, Michael, do you have butt kickers or Crosons or some kind of tactile transducers like vibrating these seats? And I don't. The only thing I have, the only thing, are 2 RS2s from JTR, dual 18s, sealed cabinets. They're not ported, they're sealed. And they're off the floor, 3 feet? 2.5 to 3 feet. And so what did you experience on the bass side of it?
Man, the low end in this room is insane. I'm just being honest. For just 2 RS2s, I was very surprised, especially with the tactile, because I get the tactile that he's getting with the addition of Crosons. I'm on concrete as well, but my Crosons help me overcome not being in a sealed room like
Right.
this. But I have to have Crosons to get that tactile feel that
Okay.
you got naturally on concrete. So that's impressive.
So you have probably in a living room setup?
Yeah, it's kind of like a downstairs living room.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it's a much bigger cubic volume probably than I have in this room. Mine's 13 by 19, 10-foot ceilings.
It's the ceilings are a little lower.
Okay.
And it's a little bit wider, but I sit a little closer, and then the room is treated properly. I do have panels up, and I try to put them, and I don't have a wall right here.
Okay. So that's open.
Yeah, that's open about another 9 feet.
Okay. So that's what I'm saying. That's cubic feet that your subwoofers are trying to pressurize.
Exactly.
So you technically have a bigger room, even though the sitting area may be one size. You're still trying to pressurize that, and sound is going out that way as well.
Absolutely. And this, man, this was amazing. This was a treat. I'm telling you. This man goes around the world to demo these systems, but he has a monster system here.
I appreciate it.
It is amazing.
And I'm grateful. And we talked about my story and my journey, and a lot of people look at what we have and they may be like, man, Michael, your system's so much beyond me. The reality is 18 years ago, I didn't have a system. I began to build a system and I had a really small system. I had a 19-inch TV, I think, in here. And over time, you begin to expand that system. And to me, I've always encouraged you guys, just enjoy the journey, enjoy the process. When I had a clip system, I loved it. When I had a 103-inch screen, I loved it. When I had a Panasonic projector, I loved it. So each progression, each time that I made an upgrade, I enjoyed it and I was satisfied. I'm not chasing something. What I've got now, there's not a lot that I can see that I want to change. I'm at a place where I really, really enjoy the sound and I really enjoy where I'm at. So there's nothing that I necessarily want or need, but there definitely, as technology changes, I'll be changing stuff out, processors and AVRs, or a dedicated home theater processor, a video processor, things like that change. But I don't really see myself, honestly, changing my speakers and subwoofers, and I definitely don't need more bass in my room.
No, this is end game. Like I told him that I believe 98% of us that are in this hobby, if I had to live with this for the next 12 to 15 years, I would be more than happy.
Yeah.
Seriously. This was an amazing experience. And one of the first times, like I told him, I got to experience proper Atmos.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit like, oh, Atmos, not a big deal. Oh, I'm all right with my 5 bed layer speakers or my 7. I don't need Atmos. That's not true. I'm here to say that Atmos is not a gimmick. It is, when done properly, it's night and day. It's awesome.
So what did you hear? We had several different clips. We probably went through about 8 different clips.
8 different clips.
What were some things that stood out in the Atmos? Like, what did you hear? What did you experience?
I really felt that 3-dimensional, because I kept looking up. Like, I did have Atmos on wall, and it was cool. I got what they were trying to do.
Okay.
But when it's done correctly, it's seamless, and you really feel like you're on a bubble of sound.
Right.
Like when the Jets were going past on Maverick, it was just like, wow, like that felt real.
It went over my head.
Yeah, like that felt real. So yeah, I really, really, really enjoy Atmos. This is nice.
So one thing that I did in here that not everybody's able to do is I went with identical speakers for my side surrounds, my rear surrounds, as well as my 4 on-ceiling speakers, the Atmos speakers. And so to me, that does add a level of cohesiveness, because we're not kind of mixing, matching drivers and crossovers and different tweeters, possibly different size drivers, and even different formats. The sidewalls sometimes are like a bookshelf, and then we go with an in-ceiling speaker. And so I was fortunate enough to have a dedicated room that I can do kind of what I want in here. I'm not worried about pleasing somebody aesthetically if they're just hanging on the walls with no speaker grills, because I like seeing the woofers. So I installed them that way, but then I also was able to install the same exact speaker for Atmos. Now, are they overkill for Atmos? Maybe, but do they sound great?
They're not. To me, it's not overkill, because the same with bass. To me, it's hard to say that certain bass notes are overkill. If you hear a jet in real life, if you go to a Blue Angel show and a jet fly by you, it's no controlled bass. You feel that jet, and you feel it all in your chest and your body. And when I bring that home, I want to feel the same thing. So we get so used to trying to control sound sometimes that we forget that some of this that they're trying to recreate is uncontrolled sound that blasts your body when you feel it or hear it. And that's what I felt like when I was watching Maverick. Like when that went by me, I was like, and it was seamless. And if you can go and see the same speakers, especially if your surrounds and your Atmos, it's really like, it just feels like the sound is not like oh, it's going from a speaker to a speaker.
Right.
It feels like the sound is just traveling around the room.
Interesting.
That's the difference than just, oh, I hear it going
I
to
heard
that
it from
speaker.
here.
Yeah. It just seems seamless.
Okay. I appreciate that.
Very impressive.
So let's go back to you. We finished the demo and he's like, you don't have Ready Player One in your queue? And I didn't have it in the script, but he said, man, could I please? Because he knows that. You're very familiar with it. And we all are. So I said, absolutely. So we fired that up. And every once in a while, I'm just kind of like looking out the side of my eye and I'm just seeing, what kind of reactions. And so walk us through that. To me, some of my favorite parts during that is the wrecking ball when Kong lands on the freeway. And then the dinosaur when it stomps. I like that. Now, a lot of people wonder, is there content and a lot of content below 20 hertz? And do I really need a subwoofer that's capable of 20 hertz and below? What would you say to that?
It's a lot of content below 20 hertz. It really is. And to me, you don't hear it, but you're definitely going to feel that content. It's going to smack you right here.
Yeah.
And right in the back of these home theater chairs. These chairs were going crazy. Like, it's a lot of content. You'll be surprised how much content it is.
Sure.
And sometimes it's one of those things you don't know because you don't have a sub that play that low. And it's not a bad thing.
Sure.
You just don't know it's there until you experience it and you're like, wait, I've never heard that before. I've never felt that before. And so it's just like, once you experience that content, it's hard to come back from it.
Yeah. I've been to people's homes and they'll have a subwoofer that maybe plays down to 20 hertz, doesn't really dig much deeper. And I'll watch that scene, Ready Player One, and those specific bass scenes, like you said, it sounds clean, but there's something missing because I know that there's content there because I've experienced it in my room. And so that's where a subwoofer, I always encourage you guys, at least get a subwoofer that'll play down to 20 hertz. If you've got one that only plays down to 30, you're missing out big time. If it goes down to 20, you're getting solid. If it goes down to 17 or 15, even better. In here, I'm getting down to pretty close to about 5 hertz. So and that's with solid stinking output. That's not 20 dB below. That's solid output at really low extensions, but that's the way these subwoofers from JTR are designed.
Especially for home theater.
Yeah.
If you're listening to 2-channel.
Yeah, you don't. Yes. Let's just maybe EDM music or certain electronic music or organs, pipe organs, they get real low. But yeah, for most music, 30 hertz is fine or somewhere around there, 25. But for home theater, man, get you a sub that plays low, has enough output for you. So we talked about like the audio side of it, but I'd love to get your perspective on even the video. And the biggest thing is a lot of you guys, when you're building your room or you're thinking of going to a projector, in your room, you said you have a
77-inch OLED.
Okay. So you got a 77-inch OLED here in a dedicated room, completely light controlled. We can black out the room. We're 150-inch diagonal. And when you're reclined, your eyes are about 9 foot from that screen. And a lot of you wonder, you always ask this question, I'm considering a 130 and a 140. Is that going to be too big from 14 feet back? And I'm just shaking my head going, come on now. So 9 foot, 150-inch diagonal, 2.35 to 1 aspect ratio. What was that experience like?
I'm going to be honest. I didn't want to like a projector because I have an OLED. And sometimes when you don't have space for something or the budget, you try to talk yourself like, hey, I don't need that. But this was very immersive. And I was like, it wasn't one of those, like I'm sitting at the front row of a movie and my eyes are trying to keep up. No, it was like dead center. I could enjoy it. The picture was amazingly clear. Like, and I see a lot of OLED guys that are video purists or whatever, and they like, projectors just don't. I was fine with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, this is clean.
Yeah.
This is clean, man. This very immersive. It makes a difference, especially with the speakers behind the screen. It makes a difference.
Yeah. And how so? Like, what difference did you hear?
You just forget that it's speakers here. Like in this hobby, like my speakers are out and I love looking at them. But like, this is my JTR room. Like when I'm not seeing the speakers, I just got lost in what I was watching.
Yeah.
Like I got lost in the first demo. I can't think of the name of the movie with the songs, but I got lost in her voice.
Sure.
I got
A
lost.
Star is Born.
Star is Born, yeah. I got lost in her voice. Like when we did Maverick, I wasn't thinking about the speakers in the room.
Right.
I was literally just watching. I got immersed into the movie.
Sure.
That's the difference. And the voice, the sound coming from the screen, your brain makes you think when you see your speakers, oh, like I can forget my speakers.
Right, yeah.
But it's different when it's behind the screen.
Yeah.
It's definitely a different.
Sure.
And I will tell you, and anybody that has JTR know, his room has the same DNA as my room. We were talking about that. A lot
same
of this,
signature
same
sound.
signature sound. It sounds familiar.
Yeah.
But there are definitely benefits of having a properly treated room, having a properly closed in room, and a properly calibrated room. His room is amazing. And like seriously, it was an experience.
I appreciate that. And part of what I want to express to you guys is I didn't hire a calibrator. I didn't hire, those are video, like the JVC NZ8 stock settings. I mean, I haven't really tweaked that. That's pretty much out of the box. Can we get better black levels if we calibrate it? Absolutely. Can we get better color? I believe so. But like you, I'm watching it going, I'm grinning ear to ear. I'm liking what I'm seeing. But I want to say that as an encouragement to you, because a lot of you that come into this home theater space, even on our last podcast, there was a gentleman that joined us and he said, man, there's just so much information. It's almost overwhelming. And it is. But the reality is all of us can learn this stuff. I am not, most of the time, you put me in the room with 5 people, I am not the smartest guy in the room. And if I can build a home theater that I can enjoy and my friends can enjoy and my family can enjoy, I really believe that you can too. And whether it's JTR, Klipsch, Martin Logan, Arundel, and I say that because I'm looking at, you got the behind the scenes look. This room is trash right now. I got speakers all over the place and amplifiers and a processor over here off to the side. But regardless of the sound that you like, I think that you can really build a home theater space in a bedroom. Yeah. I've seen some really cool home theaters, very creative in a 12 by 12 bedroom. And some people will say, well, Michael, 12 by 12 is the worst dimension for a room acoustically. You're right, it is. But was it fun? It was, you know what I mean? And so sometimes we get tied up in perfection. And Sean Cannell says on his channel, he says, done is better than perfect. I'd rather have a done theater room and one that I can enjoy than going, it'll never be perfect. I don't have the right dimensions. I don't have the right ceiling height. I don't have the right projector, the right speakers, just build it. Just enjoy it. Build it as if you start off with a 2-channel system, add a subwoofer down the road. Later on, maybe you add a second one, add a center channel, add rears, build it over time. This is an 18-year process for me. We've lived in this home 18 years, and this room was just blank. It was 13 wide, 19 deep, 10-foot ceilings, nothing on the wall. And we looked around and I was like, I hope I can make something happen out of this room. And I did. A lot of used equipment over the years, building it over time, building it slowly. And then now this is my career. This is what I do. I share my passion. I share my love for home theater and hopefully educate you guys and inform you about products maybe you've never even heard about. You, behind the camera, you and my channel were the ones that introduced me to JTR. They're like, Michael, if you like this brand, you got to check out this JTR. I'm like, who's JTR? And then Jeff flew me up there and I had a chance to experience it for my own self. And we're going to have JTR at M-Wave. We're going to have Kaleidoscape at M-Wave. We're going to have Seymour, Grimani systems. We're going to have some high-end stuff. We've got SVS that's going to be there with their new system. And it's going to give you a lot of opportunity to hear some different things and see some different things. But I just wanted to create a space that we as a family could come in and enjoy, that we could watch movies, my wife and I, Jessica, we watch Survivor every week. It's just like our thing, man. She's the one that, hey, you ready to watch Survivor? Can you put down your computer? Can you stop editing for a little bit? And I'm like, heck yeah, let's do it. And those are the things that I love and am passionate about.
And I think to piggyback off what you said about M-Wave, if you're not able to, because I bought JTR off of reviews and off of your word, honestly, I think M-Wave is important for people. I live in a small town in Tennessee. The best audio we had was at Best Buy.
Right. Yep.
And you're providing a space where people can fly out or come out and experience all per listen, SVS, JTR, and especially if you're getting into this hobby. And so as much as I enjoy, and I shared this with him, I enjoyed my journey of SVS speakers, Calypso speakers, now JTR speakers, but maybe I wouldn't have made, I don't want to call them bad choices by no means, but I did waste some money.
Sure.
We all have. We
all have wasted money.
Having a place to go experience JTR, and I may have would have said, hey, before I buy these, this or that, let me save my money because this is what I want.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And that's a great place to go and say, okay, I'm looking to upgrade.
Sure.
Let me go hear some of these brands that I'm considering. And that's awesome to have that opportunity to do that and not just rely on reviews.
Sure.
You can trust your own ears, man.
And we even had the opposite too. We had gentlemen and ladies that came to M-Wave last year and they went into the JTR room or the per listen room. They're like, wow, this is awesome, but that ain't my budget. And then they go over to SVS and they're like, wow, this is a great experience. And they're like, I can afford these, you know?
Right, yeah.
And so the thing is, we're not trying to sell you on anything. We just want to provide experiences that you can figure out what works best for you, aesthetically, your budget, and the sound signature that you're looking for. And one thing I love, I was sharing with you earlier, I love the gear.
Absolutely.
Man, I love speakers and subwoofers and projectors and all that stuff. But what I value most on this channel, and I'm trying to live this out through M-Wave as well and model it there, is what we did today, relationships.
Absolutely.
Developing a friendship, man, we're talking about family, we're talking about faith, we're talking about speakers, of course, and all of that stuff. I appreciate the opportunity that I have to build relationships and connections and friendships with people like Tim and others that have visited my home. Those of you that come and hang out with us at M-Wave, or I meet you at another trade show or an event, and we just get to hang out and build relationships and friendships. To me, that's what matters. If I had this cool room and I was the only one that ever got to experience it, it'd be pretty lonely. And that's another big heartbeat of M-Wave, is that we want to provide an opportunity for you to come to experience some cool stuff, to experience maybe Dolby Atmos for the first time at M-Wave. But we also are intentionally going to help you get connected with some other people that are like-minded and passionate. And you mentioned that earlier. We had never met personally, but it was like we've been friends forever.
Yeah. Like it's only a few hobbies, and this is one of them. It don't matter where you meet them, your background, race, none of that stuff matters, man. It's like the passion we have for movies, the gear. Like I told him, I love gear just as much as I love sitting here watching movies. I love reading about it, specs. I love, sometimes I'll be reading about gear while I'm watching movies.
Sure.
I need to stop. But
you enjoy the movie.
Yeah, enjoy the movie. Yeah. But I love this stuff. And when I meet like-minded people, it's like we become instant family. Like, oh man, what about this? You tried this? I heard this. Like lifelong friendship.
Yeah.
I even told them like people I've bought from or that have bought from me, we still keep it like, how's the system? Added anything new? What's new? Or sending pictures of, oh, look, I just got this sub, or,
It's way beyond just a transaction.
Absolutely.
It's a relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it.
Well, Tim, I'm grateful. Number one, that you were willing to come over and hang out with me. But number two, you're willing to just get on camera and just share your passion for movies and music and family. And this has been fun, dude. Absolutely. This has been fun. And I always like getting feedback. And I told him, I said, I don't want you to just try to brag on my system. That is not my heartbeat. You guys know that. I just wanted to hear what you experienced. I wanted to hear your story. And so What are any last thoughts maybe to share with these guys?
Take the journey step by step. I enjoy looking forward to the next upgrade. It doesn't have to come immediately.
Yeah.
Just enjoy like I want to purchase Kaleidoscape in the future. I know that I can't afford it right now, but I'm excited about knowing that one day
down the road, sure.
And that keeps me content. You know what I'm saying? And being able to experience it for the first time and like, you know, the RS2s, I considered them before I got my speaker, my subs.
Yeah.
Kind of wish I would have went with the RS2s. But enjoy the baby steps and enjoy the small purchases and enjoy what you have. Because believe it or not, what you have, somebody else will love. Just, you know.
That is true.
You go see all these amazing systems and you have you have an end game right here, man. It's a true end game system.
I appreciate it. Well, guys, we would love to have you join us for M-Wave. That's literally in 3 weeks. It's right around the corner. Midwest AV Experience, that's where it's happening. I'd love to hang out with you and meet with you, have some cool experiences together, go out for dinner together, hang out. But it's a super fun event. Tim, we got to get you there next year, man.
Absolutely.
Got to make some plans to join us.
I'm going to be there, I promise.
Well, guys, I hope y'all have an incredible week. Enjoy your journey. And as always, we'll catch you in the next video. God bless.